Am I audible?
Yes,
Okay, okay, okay.
thank you. Good morning. We are waiting for our Vice Chancellor to join the meet. So as soon as he joins, we'll be beginning the session.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Everybody.
Media only, yeah. Hello.
Sir, good morning.
Sir, good morning. எங்க போட்டோவே காணோம். செம்முன்னு இருக்கணும், அப்படி இருக்கணுமே. லேட்டா
Sir, Sorry for the inconvenience. We're just waiting for our Vice Chancellor to arrive. So he's held up in some urgent meeting. So he'll be back shortly. We'll be starting the session in a short while.
Good morning, sir.
Hello. Sir, good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
See,
Sir, start பண்ணலாங்களா, sir?
yeah, you can start. Yesterday, I went for this my eye inspection or this testing.
Sir, not a
so
problem.
they put the dilatation for that fluid dilatation. So I'm
Okay,
unable to see the light or anything brightly.
Not a problem, sir. Not a problem, sir. Can we start, sir?
Yeah. Audio is on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I can start now.
Come on.
So good morning to all the dignitaries, faculty members, research scholars, and student participants. We are now starting our inaugural session of a 3-day virtual workshop on basics of QGIS. So let us begin the session with our invocation.
கேளுங்க, எனக்கு 10 தான் வருது இல்லையா? எனக்கு இப்பதான் வருது, இப்போ நான் ஆரம்பிக்கல. இது வரும்போது எனக்கு கொடுத்துருங்க, நான் பூஜை பண்ணுறேன்.
So as quoted by Oliver Wendell Holmes, man's mind, once stretched by a new idea, never regains its original dimensions. Today we are gathered here to stretch our mind to explore new ideas in the field of geospatial technology through our 3-day virtual workshop on the basics of QGIS. So to begin this session, I request our head Center for Water Resources Management, Dr. G. Bhaskaran, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, distinguished chief guest, faculty members of this prestigious university, the participants, and my family friends of the Geo community. Good morning to all. Today, on behalf of the Center for Water Resource Management, we welcome you on for the 3 days webinar and workshop on the basics of QGIS level 1. This seminar is aimed to strive that academicians, researchers, administrators to give some basic understanding of the quantum GIS, which is an open source software in the market. Normally, the geographic information system is nowadays providing more employment opportunities to the students, researchers, in the field of data handling and big data analytics. For that, they have to invest more. See, commercial softwares are there in the market, then it will be cost of 10 lakhs to the 15 lakhs. To get into the training, it will be around 5 to 6,000 rupees 1 week training program. So to buy the software and get trained up in that particular software means it will be hard to the researchers and the academicians researchers. So nowadays there are open source which is commonly available for the data handling and data analysis. Those softwares are not aware to the students and the researchers and how to make use of the software. They don't know about that. So the Center for Water Resource Management is taking an initiation in the level 1, that is the basic understanding of the open source software, which comes under the FAS. See that the training is given in the first level 1, that is basic understanding of this QGIS, how to operate, and what are the limitations in the open source software and how to handle it. This is our level 1 are going to be taught in the 3 days workshop. The workshop is designed such a way in the theory and followed by the practicals. To give free training for the free of cost software is nowadays very much needed to give employment opportunity to the students, researcher, and also to support the administrators who are all working in the line department of the various states. So that this 3 days program is initiated. There are about 720 participants are so far registered, representing 15 states of our India. Among the 720, there are breakups. Teachers, 125 teachers are enrolled, administrators 143, researcher 178, and student friends are 274 are registered and participated in the YouTube streaming of this webinar. So in this brief introduction about this purpose of the seminar, and this is the right time to introduce and to welcome the eminence of this particular seminar. First, I want to welcome on behalf of the Center for Water Resource Management, there is a young and dynamic personality, Mr. Harshit. He is a geoscientist. Also, he is working with geospatial technology in IIT Roorkee, and he is nowadays he is concentrated more on the open source software, which comes under FAS. He trained well, and he want to give whatever he learned from his own. He want to give it to the researcher and the academician and students, friends, to how to make use of this open source software for their own research and their develop the entrepreneur skill. So I wholeheartedly, and the center also wholeheartedly welcome Mr. Harshit for this wonderful 3-day seminar. Welcome, Harshit. The another personality who is a great man, also doing the job of familiarizing the open source software to the students in their own language, whatever it may be, in the maybe Tamil or maybe Hindi or maybe Kannada, is also taking care about to disseminate this thing in the local language. That personality who already worked as a head that National Center for Earth Science Studies in Trivandrum, who is also retired. Even though he is retired last year, he is taking very much initiation to demonstrate the usefulness of GIS in various applications with the using that open source software. Sir, on behalf of the prestigious university and the Center for Water Resource Management, I welcome you for the 3-day seminar and give the presidency address to the seminar participants.
Thank you.
Then the great personality who is a technological man, who is demonstrating the technology through the science and uplifting the higher education in the prestigious 164th year university. That is the man. He is a Professor S. Gauri. He is a Vice Chancellor of the prestigious university. He is always thinking about that transfer of technology for the upliftment of the higher education community in the universities. And such a great personality who is going to give the inaugural address in this 3 days webinar he is always thinking about putting that higher education the higher level, like a launch vehicle. Satellite is the higher education. It has to serve the community. It has to take the information about the surface, and it has to disseminate the thing to the community. Likewise, the satellite is working. To push the satellite up to some height in the space, it needs a launch vehicle. So our Vice Chancellor, a dynamic personality, is acting as a launch vehicle, pushing that higher education and research up to some extent in the space, and give the higher education to all for their empowerment, students' empowerment, and that employment opportunities. So such a great personality with us, and he is a kind man to inaugurate the session, even though he is a busy man and in his busy schedule, the morning itself also, and also he is also have some medication, under medication. Even though he is under medication, he is accepted and he is going to deliver, and he is inaugurate the 3-day seminar. And on behalf of the Center for Water Resource Management of the University of Madras, we wholeheartedly welcome the dynamic personality, our Vice Chancellor, to inaugurate this particular workshop. Sir, we wholeheartedly welcome you, sir. And we welcome all the 720 participants who are all registered, and they are with us for about 3 days. Throughout that 15 states of India are with us. So please be with us for 3 days and have some technological contributions by the eminence who are all going to give, and take that message from this prestigious university and implement it in your own field of research. So myself, on behalf of that Center for Water Resource Management and the University of Madras, we wholeheartedly welcome you, all the participants, for this 3-day webinar. And I welcome all my friends, colleagues of this university, colleges affiliated to the University of Madras, and other university faculty members who are all joined with us to grace the function. I welcome you all, and I pray God to give strength us to complete that workshop successfully with that blessings from the Almighty. We are inaugurating this particular workshop today, and with the support of yourself, we are going to start this particular 3 days workshop on QGIS, basics of QGIS level 1. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Over to Narmada.
Thank you, sir. As we all know that technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. So we are trying to make such a positive transformation today with the best tutors in the industry. So we have our instructor, Mr. Harshit, an architect with masters in geomatics engineering, who has hands-on experience of UAV photogrammetry, GIS, and remote sensing tools. He has his expertise in photogrammetric computer vision for extracting information from various images, and he is interested in opportunities in the domain of UAV photogrammetry, point cloud, 3D GIS, and city modeling with urban geoinformatics and its application on current global issues. Now I request Mr. Harshit, our instructor, to give us a brief about the workshop.
Thank you, Dr. Narmada. I thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the dedicated professors. Good morning, everyone. I am really thankful to the organizing committee and Center of Water Resource Management Department at University of Madras to providing me an opportunity to share my knowledge. It is my honor to be here with you. So basically, this workshop, as it is named, Basics of QGIS, is for everyone who wants to try something new and is fascinated about, especially in the domain of GIS. So how the world is changing and all these sort of things. So in this webinar, I will be covering from basics of GIS and then take you through the journey of exploring the fantastic world of QGIS, that is an open source software which is used by millions of users throughout the world. So in recent decade, GIS has become one of the most innovative field, especially for data mining and analysis. And since the COVID pandemic outbreak has been come to us, so using GIS also we were able to manage and understand a lot of patterns and different kind of behaviors in the movement of viruses and everything. So it is a very great tool for understanding the human impact on the environment as well as vice versa. So today I will be sharing my ideas and understanding about the GIS. Initially, I will be covering basics of GIS because this is for a very basic course. So first I will introduce the different components of GIS and what exactly it is, and then I will start by introducing yourself to the environment of QGIS, how to download, install, and initially process. And in the coming days, I will share more and more details about the QGIS, about the processing, about the interface, how the data are entangled, how they are processed, what is vector data, raster data. So it will be very fun to see because I will be giving you a hands-on demo. So you will be seeing in real time what exactly I'm trying to do on the software. And meanwhile, I will also share some theoretical background related to the software so that you can understand what exactly is going on and why it is going on. So I hope you will learn something new. Thank you for this opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to make you people aware about something new. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harshit. We are honored to have Dr. Sukumar with us in this inaugural session. Currently, he is an honorary technical consultant of River Rejuvenation Program in Salem district of Tamil Nadu. He is a scientist retired from Center for Earth Science Studies, Akkulam, Thiruvananthapuram. His areas of research includes geomorphic studies, evaluation of land for various purposes, land use land cover and change studies, watershed management, socio-economic and demographic aspects, and many more. He has worked with various projects in and around Kerala using geospatial techniques. So now I request Dr. Sukumar to deliver the presidential address.
Thank you. Respected Vice Chancellor, Professor S. Tovri, Dr. G. Bhaskaran, Professor and Head in charge, Center for Water Resource Management, Mr. Harshit, IIT Roorkee, Dr. K. Narmada, and my dear participants. I'm extremely happy to preside over this 3 days national workshop on basics of QGIS. I'm glad that the Center for Water Resource Management has come forward to teach QGIS online for the newcomers. The QGIS is a very useful and powerful GIS software. Nobody knows to explore it so far, from my knowledge goes, because most of the people use commercial softwares and they don't know about the open source softwares like QGIS. In the northern states of India, the QGIS is taught in school level. It's very interesting to know that school level they start learning QGIS. So when they come to college level and then engineering students, as a geography students, they can do wonders because that provides a good platform for the future. In the new digital policy of Government of India, a lot of restrictions are removed recently. Earlier it was not so. The digital cartography is encouraged in India. So everybody has to participate, do something for the nation, for the society, for which QGIS is very, very important because it's an open source software. See, if you look for commercial software, you have to pay 40 lakhs. Then again, maintenance, training. Then you have to renew the software and everything. It's a very cumbersome process. Most of the government colleges are not equipped with it. They are under financial crunch. So they cannot afford to go for higher commercial software. So they have to start somewhere. So where the QGIS is coming in the picture. QGIS is an open source software. If you know some programming, you can also do some programming and do your work very nicely. As far as my knowledge goes, most of the research scholars in India as well as in Tamil Nadu, they use only commercial software. They are not explored the QGIS. But lot of scope opportunity is there for QGIS, and then they can use it. They can very well bring out lot of results in research as well as in the other studies. It has got lot of potential for PhD scholars. First of all, they have to learn the basics. That's what Mr. Harshit started today. So you have to understand whether it is a commercial software or it is a open source software. You should know the basics of GIS. What is the basic of the GIS? See how to georeference your data, where from you can get the data, how to integrate the data, and then how to edit, digitize some of the features. So these are all the basics. If you do any fault, anything wrong in the digitization, the outcome will not be there, whether it is a commercial software or open source software. So these things you can just learn in QGIS, because the concept of GIS is very well taught, can be taught in QGIS. That's what I'm trying to propagate to the youngsters and new people. So they have to understand. They think that only commercial software can do and an open source software cannot do. It is not so. All the basic GIS concepts and then 75% of the commercial software activities can be carried out by QGIS. So this QGIS is not very familiar. So I'm extremely happy that Department of that is Center for Water Resource Management has come forward to teach this at student level. Now this has to go to college teachers level. College schools students also, they have to organize this type of workshop. Not only in English, it should be organized in their mother tongue like Tamil, because most of them don't understand. Sometimes they just get bored. So you have to teach them in their own mother tongue. Whether it is a Karnataka, Kannada, you have to teach. If it is in Andhra Pradesh, you have to teach in Telugu. If it is in UP, you have to teach in Hindi. So Kerala, Malayalam, like that, you have to teach this particular thing in mother tongue, because the people can understand very easily. I have seen the response. When you teach in their own mother tongue, they easily pick it up, they show some interest. Whereas if you teach in English, lot of YouTubes are there in English, but nobody bothers about it. So this particular training program in future, I think the Center for Water Resource Management will take it to the teachers, college teachers and school teachers in mother tongue as well as in English. Not many people, I have seen many research PhD works. Almost all the people use the commercial software. I don't know why. You can use this QGIS very well because it has got a lot of options. If you understand the basics like a layout and other things, you will wonder how much of work you can do in QGIS. So I have used many commercial softwares in my institution. My own institution now using the QGIS very well because you can work at home. Because commercial software, you have to work only under the license at the institution. So using this QGIS, you can sit at home, use your own laptop, use your desktop, you can do wonderful work. So whenever you get time, you can do it. Lot of new ideas will come. When you work, the research also, you will get lot of ideas. From the result, you can understand what problem you are facing, how you can overcome. Similarly, what type of findings you are getting. So it's very interesting. For all these things, you can use QGIS. Normally, when you look at the QGIS, it looks very simple. You may be just seeing some commands, you think that it is very insufficient. But if you look at the tools, lot of tools are there. It has got additional software like SagaGIS and GRASS. So it is also associated with the same commands you can use in QGIS. So you can use many tools. If you go to the tools, you'll get a lot of things. But it is not visible. You have to go to plugin, you have to install. The plugin one by one according to your requirement, you can just get the data and then you get the software, you can use it. So if you use it, then you will understand the beauty of QGIS. The QGIS studies can be used for urban studies, terrain analysis, and image processing. In terrain analysis, QGIS plays a very important role. Even commercial software, you cannot have such a flexibility. With QGIS, you got a lot of things, but generally, if you look at the QGIS, you will see only a slope or aspect. But when you go for SAGA-GIS, and then from there you can get data, you can do lot of terrain parameters you can bring in, and then do geomorphic analysis in QGIS. Same way, image processing. The same software, because if you go to commercial software, you have to add a module. So here you got a image processing that is also available plugin. Then you got a 3-dimensional thing. So wonderful 3-dimensional map you can bring in the QGIS, as well as you can also use cross profiles. Terrain analysis, cross profile is important. That is also available. Then algorithm for contours. The algorithm in QGIS contour is best as far as I am concerned. In SAGA-GIS and QGIS, you got a good algorithm. Other than except Surfer, you got a best algorithm for contouring. If you use commercial software, you will get an error at micro level. Say for a village level or panchayat level, if you want to do something, it is impossible. You got lot of error, you have to edit lot of things. Whereas in QGIS, beautiful contours you will get. So that way, a lot of flexibility, lot of interesting things are there in QGIS, for which you have to basic first you have to learn how to georeference, how to digitize, how to just bring out layout and everything you have to learn. Then you have to editing, how to edit. So after that, one by one, we can just add data, integrate data, lot of things you can learn. So I'm extremely happy the Center for Water Resource Management, University of Madras, as doing a wonderful job for the student community and research community and teaching community. So QGIS is very important. I'm extremely happy that I'm presiding over this. I'm thankful to the organizers for giving this chance. And then you have to do a lot of things. I think Harshit will tell about it because he has done a lot of things, and then he will tell you, because I don't want to be, since it's my duty is to presiding over, just I'm not going into the details of the QGIS. So Dr. Harshit will tell about the utility use of QGIS. So thank you so much for giving this opportunity to inaugurate this workshop. Wish you all the success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's a special day for us, a day of knowledge sharing, where we are going to stretch mind, ideas, and vision towards technological advancement. University of Madras has a legacy of great alumni network of Nobel laureates, famous mathematicians, leading and best scientists of international stature. We have always had great scholarly personalities who have headed us in this academic platform. So we have one such eminent personality with us today to inaugurate our session. It's a great honor to have our Vice Chancellor, Professor S. Gauri, with us, a postdoctoral fellow of Nanyang Technological University in Singapore, and he has a teaching experience of 37 years and he was the director of the Education Multimedia Research Center and an inter-university center of UGC at the Anna University. He was also an honorary professor in the Department of Manufacturing Engineering at Anna University and was a visiting professor at NTU and other universities. He is our 45th Vice Chancellor of this 163-year-old University of Madras. He was earlier the director of the Education Multimedia Research Center at Anna University. So our Vice Chancellor has been the recipient of National Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement in 2011, honored by the Indian Society for Technical Education, New Delhi. He was previously the first registrar of Anna University and the chairman faculty of Mechanical Engineering of the university. He has also been the head of the Department of Media Sciences at the College of Engineering. So under his directorship, the EMMRC team won the 2 national awards consecutively from the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Thank you, sir, for joining us today for this workshop, for inaugurating our sessions. So now I humbly request our Vice Chancellor, Professor S. Gauri, to deliver the inaugural address for us.
Good morning to every one of you. Am I visible as well as audible?
Yes, sir.
I'm not visible, yeah, because of this. I went for the eyes inspection and dilatation was done, so I'm not visible, that only audible. Kindly excuse for this. All glory to the Almighty. Really, it's a great pleasure for me to inaugurate this 3 days workshop on the basics of QGIS, as well as to inaugurate and welcome you all to this opening session of this 3-day workshop. Really, I'm very elated to know that personalities, scientists from Trivandrum, as well as Mr. Harshit from IIT Roorkee, and other eminent scientists, faculty members, and research scholars, and student friends, and public and media. Really, it's a sort of a blessings, I should say, because this JAS is known to everyone. Because in Anna University, when I was there, the geography department was just in front of the manufacturing, and I had come across with some friends to discuss about that, the geology and other aspects. Almost they do with the geographical aspects also. Some set of softwares like QGIS is also used, but that is a commercial one. And everyone, as Professor Sukumar said, everyone cannot go for that. Affordability is a main criteria. So this QGIS, the Quantum Geographical Information System, is an openware software system which can be used for anyone at any time. That's really a boon for that. But one major disadvantage with the open software systems are there is no proper training will be given because it is an open courseware. Any open courseware, the faculty or the student or the research scholar has to study himself or herself, or in consultation with the other guides or professors, like that only. That is for the most of the open course softwares. Similarly, for this quantum geographical information system also, there is no specified training or other type of organization of this web-based seminars are not like that. That means the users can find that importance of it and arrange some webinar trainings or other type of colloquium or something like that, or workshop can be made purely depending on the users. So in this way, Professor Bhaskaran, I used to call him Thambi. Thambi means in Tamil, that is a younger brother. I don't call everyone in the university because he is from Anna University. And I know the people, the work, the culture, and this level of the knowledge, and also the mind to serve the society. That is sort of a high from those people. So in that way, I used to always call him as a Thambi only. So yes, come forward with a lot of such ideas, how this QGIS can be used by everyone, those who are interested, and how we can give some training through such a workshop like that only. And that is the idea of this 3 days workshop on the basics of QGIS. So quantum is an interesting word. Now it is catching up. But the quantum from physics, the quantum physics, that is a part of the physics. Truly speaking, quantum means how much. There's a Latin word. How much portion or amount, if you ask, that's a quantum, is a Latin word. And anonymously we use this quantum. But here the quantum means after the nanotechnology was born, the quantum becomes very small, very, very small, nano. That's why if you go to buy a television in a television shop, they'll say, sir, this is Samsung or this is a Sony, the latest TV, they will say QLED. That means quantum LED TV. That means the quantum, the particles are less than 1 nanometer. So when the particles are less than 1 nanometer, a full screen is made up of such particles. Because every matter is made of particles, we know very well. Macro particle, each macro has a micro, each micro has a nano, each nano has a femto, like that only. So when such small particles are combined together, the clarity and the resolutions or the brilliance, everything will be amazing. So in that way, they have coined the word quantum geographical information system, means all the data are pertaining to very small quantity. That means even you take a small point on the geography on the earth, you will get the full details about it. So that is advantage of this. Really appreciate the word quantum geographical information system. And this 3-day workshop will be really useful. And this was made possible through online mode. Our Center for Water Research Management has substantially contributed to the scientific hydrological studies and water management. And this center is handling different projects pertaining to watershed development, wetland management, water management for agriculture, forest, and urban hydrology, water-related environmental issues, like that, so many. The center regularly conducts several training courses to address the needs of our own government departments, NGOs, and other local panchayat bodies like that. Whenever there is a problem with the water problem is there, because we used to say in Tamil, when there is no water, there is a problem. When the water is excess, there is a problem. So how to have the optimal usage, that we know. So when such problems comes, naturally the Center for Water Resources in Anna University is a very big department that handles the projects. To my appreciation, I came to know that our Center for Water Resource by headed by Dr. Bhaskaran and their team, is also doing some service to the society. And when I visited the center, I found that it was a big shock for me that it was not well equipped. It is a very small center, even though people like Bhaskaran are very active. So it's in always in my mind that we should apply for more projects to get more funds. So the Center for Water Resource Management should be the Center for Water in Tamil Nadu. So like that, they should come up with novel ideas and propose projects to the government, various governments. So it is my sort of a dream or aim or motto that this center should be developed to a greater extent, whatever possible, just like in College of Engineering Pune in Maharashtra, or this IIT Roorkee. I remember that when I was a director of EMMRC, I visited IIT Roorkee, and there is also one EMMRC, Education Media Research Center. And I visited that. I could not have much time to go into the Roorkee. It's a very, very nice, beautiful campus. Outside the campus, there is I think, a sort of a government department guest house also there, and that the maintenance is very well. So why I'm saying this is we should tie up with IIT Roorkee or this National Center for Earth Science from Trivandrum, and we should come up with some ideas. Some joint projects can be evolved, and we should apply to European Union, or of course now because of the pandemic there may not be enough fund, and soon after I think that will grow up, the develop. So we should jointly work together, become partners. We should be the partners from the country, one from Roorkee, one from Trivandrum, one from Chennai. We should become the European for the partnership and build a partnership for the European funded projects on this type of water management. Really, I'm very happy to participate and inaugurate this. The workshop conducted today, I hope all the participants will be able to explore different technicalities of this software. Well, the session will be helpful to all of you. You will agree that this 3-day workshop is going to be busy and productive, and the 3-day deliberations will be very much useful. There is a lot to offer for a 3-day event. I would like to take the opportunity to appreciate and thank the organizing committee for their diligent work. I would also like to thank the participants, especially those of you coming from different parts of the country, for joining this wonderful event. It is essential to bring together experts in the field of technology in education so that we can realize together the potential of technology for education, because without technology, nothing is moved. So everything is a technology blended or woven with the technology, and hope this QG software system can be thoroughly explained to the users, students, research scholars, and many more ideas will come, and we'll be able to forge a good relationship as a partners, and we will try to apply for many projects so that this center can be developed, and this center will be notified by all the centers in the country as a center of excellence. I hope that's my dream that will come true. Wish all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time and kind words amidst your busy schedule. This gives us more energy and enthusiasm for us to contribute more. So, really happy to kick off the workshop with such eminent personalities on the ground. We will conclude the session, the inaugural session, with the national anthem. Sorry for the interruption.
இல்ல வரல உங்களுக்கு.
Starting off the workshop from now, so I would request Harshit to take over the session from here.
Thank you, Dr. Narmada.
Dr. Bhaskar, shall I leave this place?
Sir, thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your thing. Wish you all the best for the successful conduct of this workshop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
My screen is visible?
Yes.
Yes, it is, sir.
Thank you. So, hello, myself Harshit. Today I will be covering these many things. So, what will you learn today? First of all, I will try to just give a theoretical background about the GIS, what exactly it is and how these things are done. Then next we will see what is the history of QGIS and how it is came into the picture. And then after that, I will give you a hands-on demo that how to download and install QGIS. And then for today, I will cover the overview of the interface, that how all the things are related to that. And then from next day onwards, we will be looking at different kind of functionalities also. So GIS, basically a geographical information system, or we call it GIS, is a computer system that actually captures the data from the real environment and it stores it in the form of databases, and it gives us the power of manipulating, analyzing and firing queries and to display the geographically referenced data. So basically, as we see the world as it is, so in GIS it derives the information from the world, and then it discusses about the geography, about the processes, how the geography is working, and how we can actually provide some more analysis and capabilities to create some sustainability models and these kind of things. So these GIS is made of these three main words, that is geographic. Basically, it defines that something is related to geography, and it is derived from a Greek word that is called geographia, that is meaning of earth description. And information is facts that is provided or learned about something or someone, and a system is the collaboration or collection of elements or components that are organized for common purpose. So basically, GIS is the combination of information that is collected to form a system related to the geography of an area. So it has a particular value addition, which you can say it's like it helps you to answer the questions related to location, patterns, trends and conditions. So what types of questions basically GIS answers? Like if you want to find out that where is the nearest bookshop, so or where is the Stone Age settlements, where the areas and the forestry and the spruce trees can be found. So these kind of questions GIS can answer. The patterns, like what is the flow of traffic along a motorway? As for today, you know that in Google Map, which you traveling from some point to another point, it gives you the traffic updates. So these are all because of the GIS. What is the distribution of crime incidents in New Delhi? These kind of questions can be answered in the pattern domain. Trends, like how are patterns of any component is changing in response to the development of out-of-town superstores, how glaciers are retreated in Himalayas, and what are the changes to the population in polar bears occurred in northern pole or something like that. So these kind of trends, analysis and all this information can be actually derived from the GIS. And it is also used to find out the conditions, like if you want to suppose go for a vacation somewhere, so how can you actually accommodate in somewhere area that is 1 kilometer of the windsurfing beach or accessible to the public transport. So these kind of conditional parameters can also be used to derive the suitability of site where you simply want to visit. So these all are kind of related to GIS itself. So what exactly is the science behind GIS? So
Excuse me, Harshit.
Yes, Narmada.
Are you presenting anything? Are you sharing any screen?
Yes.
But we are not able to see.
Okay, one second. Now?
No. Ah, yes. Yeah.
Is it still visible?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So what is the science behind GIS? GIS is a concept, it derives concepts from very different disciplines. Like it is adopted to refer to science behind the systems basically. So it is a diverse in its disciplines, like it derives concepts from cartography, cognitive science, computer science, engineering, environmental science, geodesy, landscape architecture, law, photogrammetry.
Can you put it in a slide share mode, Harshit?
Yes, it is in slide share mode.
No, it's not.
One second, just.
Full screen, I'm saying. You have an option on the top left.
Yeah, I have done already. Is it not visible in full screen?
No, the full screen is not visible to us. But if there is any technical issue, then I think we'll go ahead with this. No problem.
Okay, I will just stop sharing once and then reshare again.
Yes.
Okay. So, so in GIS, basically, it works around the different kind of data. That is, for this figure, if you see, it has spatial data, attribute data, metadata, and these all data are basically derived from the different science communities. And it is basically utilizing all the information from different diverse disciplines and collaborate or conjugate this all information into a single system that can be used for further analysis and observation. So it involves the study of fundamental issues arising from creating, handling, storage data. And the key concepts that help in the GIS is like it is the information about the places on Earth's surface. It includes the global positioning system because it is related to the location or geospatial location of any object on the Earth. And it is both computer system and software. So it has different manifestation and a very great variety of applications. So how exactly it started? So the first application which we know about the GIS development was in 1854, 31st August. So it was the outbreak of cholera hit in London, that is district Soho, and the physician known as John Snow, who was that time of a doctor, was able to take some data related to the this disease, and in this disease 127 people died from the disease by September 10th, and over 500 died overall. So he narrowed down the different location of the streets and how many people are dying from which area, and he mapped out these locations related to that local water well, and the cholera led back to the argument and contaminated map. So through this basically he was able to find out which all pumps or water wells were affected due to the cholera virus, and that's how he basically derived this whole system. So this was the one of the first application you can see that how GIS was used to save the human life and all these things. So this is one of the map that was basically regenerated on the basis of data collected by John Snow. So these are the different streets, if you can see, and these are the red dots which are on the basis of the number of deaths. The size varies. Where there is a less number of deaths, there is a less sizer of circle. So on the basis of this you can see that in the center area, this is more of the deaths were happened. So on the basis of it, it was derived that these area are more contaminated, these water wells are more contaminated, and the water should be stopped in these water wells. People should be prohibited using these kind from this water wells. So this is one of the application that was that comes in the history of GIS. So stages of GIS development from that time onwards, the next what we say remarkable remarkable impact in history was in 1964 when the Canada first time actually created the Canada Geographic Information System. So I don't know, but a lot of you should know that initially the Geographical Information System was for a long time called as CGIS because it was started in Canada. So it was called that way. After 1964, in 1969, the Jake and Laura Dangermond, who are the basically CEO of ISRI, they started researching because they were landscape architects and they were started researching about the ideas how basically the geographical information should be incorporated in a computer systems. So after that, in 1982, basically ISRI launched its first commercial GIS softwares, and from that year onwards a lot of people started researching about that. And as we are talking about QGIS, the QGIS is not that much old, but it was started in as a name of Quantum GIS in 2002. So and after that commercial use of GIS was very much costly. So because of that, QGIS slowly became famous. And nowadays it's very much open source and all the plugins and everything because it has more than 700 plus plugins for different kind of applications, and it is completely voluntary job of developers, so they don't have any commercial benefits out of it, but they just are trying to share their knowledge and create something new for the society, for the human development. And it's still improving day by day because now from the desktop GIS everybody is shifting to the web form of GIS because of the system limitation and all those sort of things. So everything is now becoming a more technologically fast, and reality is also changing in that way. So I will like to just talk about a brief introduction about the components of GIS. So any GIS basically include of these 5 components. The first one is the computer system, the second is software, the spatial data, data management analysis, and the people. So I will talk about one by one. So the computer system is very important in GIS because it is the it is the background or backbone behind the GIS, because this is the hardware part of GIS on which the software is basically installed and processing all the processings are done. Then we have software which we will talk about today because QGIS comes under this category of component of GIS. So there are many softwares, but still you have not heard about these many softwares which is shared in this slide. So there is ArcGIS, QGIS, GrassGIS, SagaGIS, PostGIS. So this is the software component, and this is also very important because initially it was completely based on desktop. Now server is also there, and due to smartphone revolution, things are also becoming mobile based also. So now you just don't need completely the system. You can also do some of the work on mobile also, because nowadays we click images all around the world, we roam around, and we know that all this thing, we order food from Zomato, from Flipkart, we order all the things. These all things are basically mobile based. Everything is basically taking information and providing you information in reverse. So this is the second component of GIS. And the third component is data. That is obviously very important because without any data, you cannot actually process or extract any information. So in GIS, there are basically 2 main component of data. That is spatial. That means that it is a data that is related to the location. Just for example, the coordinate of an object or something like that. And the second is non-spatial data. So non-spatial data is something which is not having any geographical information attached to it, but it is having information related to its, like for example, a road name, the length of the road, on the direction of the road, something like this, the name of schools, forest, or the population or census data, and which is not basically defining some spatial information about it, but it has some kind of information. So this is the third component, and then the fourth one is called the data management analysis. So this is basically covering all the functionalities or techniques that are basically comes under the GIS. So all kind of functions which we use on the basis of the data, like for example, buffer analysis, network analysis, or terrain analysis, finding shortest distance between the 2 points, smoothing, manual polygon editing, or something like that. So the function that a GIS should be able to perform is included in data management and analysis. So it is also important because it gives you the techniques and basic idea about what the things that you can do or play with the data that is collected through the third component. And the last and the most important or final one is the people, because whatever you are doing, it is no GIS will be existing in the isolation from the organizational context, because there must be always some people who should plan, implement, and operate the system, as well as make decisions based on the output. So these GIS processes, these GIS projects basically ranges from small research applications where one user is responsible for design and implementation and output, and it can go to a broad range of motions. So it is very important because GIS is by individuals, by the groups, and for the people itself. So if it is not going to help anyone, then nobody will be doing anything. So these five components are basically important part of explaining the basic idea of GIS. And this is just an example of that how world is basically represented in GIS. So this is in bottom most 3D view. You can see it's a real world, and then the land usage is in the form of a raster image, which we will discuss later on what exactly it is. And the elevation data is like three different layers are extracted in the form of 2D sheets, and these layers are basically overlaid on the GIS platform to understand how these things are collaborating or correlating with each other to understand and extract as many information as we can. So overall, we understood that geospatial data is the data about objects, events, or phenomena that have a location on the surface of Earth, and this location may be static or maybe dynamic depending upon the type of data we are talking about. And the basic difference between geospatial data and normal any data is like it combines the location information, that is the usually coordinates on the Earth, and attribute information, that is the characteristics of objects, events, or phenomena. Also, sometimes there is a temporal information, the time or lifespan of the location and attribute exist. So these kind of information basically constitute or combines to form geospatial data. So now, after understanding the basic GIS, we will talk about QGIS, and then we will directly go to the hands-on demo. So what exactly is QGIS? So QGIS is basically free and open source cross-platform desktop geographic information system. So it was founded by Gary Sherman in 2002, and he was actually looking for a fast geographical data viewer just for the visualization in Linux, and then by doing some twitching, and then it evolves more in the form of a cross-platform. Cross-platform means it can work on Windows as well as on Linux as well as on Mac OS. So it's a OS Geo project and packaged with a bunch of other open source libraries and tools, because in software itself, it is providing a lot of information and a lot of functionalities. But apart from that, you can actually download more than 1200 plugins, which is specific for different purposes, and you can explore around these and test it, and then give the feedback and on the basis of that. And it is an alternative to ArcGIS, because ArcGIS is commercial and it has a very vast community who are using, but it comes at a cost. So because of that, a lot of limitations came. But for a researcher, especially for a student who are basically interested in understanding GIS and doing some data analysis, so everybody cannot actually buy ArcGIS. So for that, QGIS is very much good for understanding, and due to the recent developments, they have actually evolved a lot. So there is not much functionality difference between ArcGIS and QGIS, because QGIS has given much more without any cost. So it's free and open source and constantly developing. So why we actually use QGIS? So these are the some points, and it has a very extensive help and documentation is available. Yeah, of course, there is no such training module or something like that. So, but still, there are a lot of community forums where you can actually discuss with your problems, and if you have some queries, you can actually ask with the professionals. They will help you, and it is also cross-platform. So it is not limited with the OS or operating system which you will using. So this is one thing, and obviously the application or where to use QGIS is another thing which is limited to your creativity. You can use as per your own activity. Like for example, in socio-economic government, it can be used in health, local government, transportation planning, urban management. In defense agencies, it can be used for technical support planning, mobile command modeling, data integration, homeland security. In business also, it can be used for marketing, retail site location analysis, suitability analysis, network management, service provision. In environmental management, it can be used in water resource modeling, hydrological modeling, natural hazard assessment, disaster management. So basically, the applications are limited to your own creativity. How creative you can be on your own data set, you can evolve as per that. So how to use? So now I will just stop sharing this PPT, and I will give you a brief introduction that how basically you can download and install QGIS. So I hope my screen is still visible now. Hello, I'm visible. My screen is visible. Okay. So for downloading, you just have to type QGIS in the Google, and you will just directly will be taken to the web page of QGIS projects. So when you will be entering in this QGIS project site, you will see there is a lot of uh, information about the new release and something like that. So for downloading, you just have to go to download. And for installation, I will just mention this thing that you have two ways to basically install QGIS. And I hope all the people who are attending today here are starting their QGIS. So it's a basics course. So I will recommend you to install uh, the way I'm about to tell you. So yeah, you can see here there is two things mentioned, that is the latest release and the long-term release. So what is the difference between these two is like long-term release is the stable version of QGIS. Basically, they review their bugs and flaws every year, and they change accordingly the software informations and the functionalities. And the latest release is basically whatever changes they do in like 3 months or 2 months, they just update it and they just launch it. So for new users, I will recommend this long-term release. You just click on this thing, and it will directly ask you to install. Download this 3.16, and you just have to save the file, so it will be saved directly in your download. So this is the latest version of QGIS, because initially it was 2 point something also. The 2 point is also working, but nowadays 3 is better than all the two versions, because it is providing you the more functionality and capability in 3D visualization and all the sort of things. So once you will download the software, it will comes in the form of this. Second, this QGIS OSW. So you will click on this. It will compute some space requirements. So for all the person who are basically scared about installation and downloading, so it is very safe. You don't have to worry about any viruses or anything like that. And once it ends the space requirements, you just have to click next, and you don't have to edit anything. All the default parameters it will use, and it will install automatically. It will take, I think, 5 to 10 minutes most probably, and it will install. As I have already installed it, so I will not actually do anything. From here you just have to yeah, the location you see change is there. Here you will see install, and you just have to click on that and the next, and the everything will be installed. So I will just finish this thing, and I will just click on my install window. So this is the latest long-term release. Every time they release, they give it as a name of a city or something like that. And this is the kind of uh, ritual they follow for their software, maybe. So it is restoring all the loaded plugins. So today we will just talk about the interface, and uh, because after that, when you will be comfortable with the interface, then from tomorrow onwards, we will start visualizing the data, spatial analysis, and how different types of data basically work around in this software. So it will take a bit of time. While it is taking time, I will just show you to download one sample data. So for sample data, I will just type BIVAGIS. You'll see this Viva GIS. It is a very good site for actually accessing the sample data. It has basically the country level data for almost all the country in the world. So in this, you have to go on this download country level data, and in this I will search India. I will just, in this you can actually select what kind of data you can want to download: administrative, inland, road, railroad. For now I will just download the administrative areas for today's version, and I will just click OK, and it will just pop up this window, and this will click download, will start downloading. So it will ask me about the saving file. Okay, I have already downloaded. So now, so this is the first time when you open a QGIS, it will look like this. So it will has some this toolbar over the top, browser window on this left side, this layers window on this right side, and then sorry, left bottom. On the right side, you will see this a processing toolbox. It is basically having all the functionality which is pre-installed in the QGIS. It is basically cartography, database, interpolation, network analysis, vector geometry. One more thing I just wanted to point out: when you will install the QGIS, it will be coming like this folder. So basically, when you install and standalone QGIS version, so it is basically installing all the different softwares that are basically related to the QGIS module. Basically, it is having GrassGIS, Desktop, Qt Designer, Saga GIS also. So what you have to do for starting your QGIS basic, so you have just to click the QGIS Desktop. That is the main software which you are using. So whatever work you have to do on this for this workshop. So basically this is the thing. And now on the bar, when you click on this new empty project, okay, so this is basically empty project, which is basically first time when you see. So this empty box is totally basically called the map map area. Whatever mapping and whatever certification you will be doing, you will doing this. All the toolbars you can be seen here. Some of them are not not visible because of the functionality. When you activate that functional, it will be get visible. So, and on the bottom you can just see here is the coordinate. On the bottom, this is the coordinate. Right now I have not opened any data, so it's just showing normal local coordinate system, and then it is scale, then magnifier, and then on the side it is showing that EPSG 4326, that is a WGS 84, because whenever you open QGIS, it is first opening uh, on the WGS 84. If nobody is aware about WGS 84, it is basically a georeferencing ellipse. WGS 84 is for georeferencing the data with respect to the geography. So it is basically based on the ellipsoid, the perception projection of Earth. So for today, I will just, this is the basically when you will download that administrative area. So this is the file which you will get. It is having this many information. So if you can see this shape file, this shape shows basically these are the basic data source in QGIS. So for today I will just open it and I will just show you. We will talk about in detail as we go on in this webinar. So I will just open this administrative one. I just have to drag and drop in this layer section. So you can see in the middle, it is basically showing this shape. So this is basically the shape file of India, which is having basically administration layer, and it is on the level 1. So it is actually having all the states and everything like that. So this is kind of a basic workflow, if you can see. Okay, so today we will just do one more thing in this plugin section. If you see, so for now we are just seeing the shapefile that has been downloaded from the website. So we don't see any base map or something like that. So for the initial process, we will just download one base map to visualize the background of the whole area as a world view. So we will just go to plugin. This is manage and install plugins. This is the location from where you can actually download a lot many of plugins. You can see here there are almost more than 1,500 plugins here for different purposes. So you can explore when you will be after this webinar. You can actually explore all these things. You can actually roam around and look for your own functionalities. So for today, we will just download one plugin that is called Open Layer plugin. So this is Open Layers plugin, and as it is already installed in my QGIS, so you just have to click here to install it. When you will click here, it will automatically install this plugin into your GIS QGIS window. So after you install this, you just have to close, and then you have to go to this web menu. Okay, this web menu in the toolbar. So when you will, one second, I think I have not installed. So it is installing and downloading the data. So once it's installed, it will show you this, the install and uninstall plugin, so you understand that it is installed. So we'll just close this, and then we will go to OpenSlayer plugin, and then we will go to OpenStreetMap to view the OS. So now you can see, you can actually visualize the map of the area. It is coming over the shapefile because in the layer section, it is above the shapefile. So what we can do, we can actually drag and drop below. So now you can see that shapefile is basically overlapping over the map area. So like this, you can actually visualize your shapefile in your QGIS window. So one more thing, if you will click on this shapefile, you will see there are so many features here. So we will just look one by one to this. The zoom to layer is basically when you click on zoom to layer, it will just fit your data into the window so that every information in this shapefile is visible. Okay, you can actually copy this layer, you can rename this layer, you can duplicate it. And the important part which I will like to know you that attribute table, because every GIS data or spatial data which is basically opened in QGIS, it has some attribute related to, because attribute are the information that are related to the geography of that area, but with extra information. So if you open this, so you will see this table, which is basically having ID, ISO, the name, and the name one, basically which is the name of the state or union territory of the area, like Andaman, Bihar, Assam, Chandigarh, the type of the that data, that is state or union territory, and then so this is basically the attribute table about the shapefile. So this will be useful in later on understanding the functionality that you can actually classify your data on the basis of these attributes. Like if you want to find out that which all are union territories, which all are states, these kind of things, you can actually classify on the basis of their area and location also. So this is just a basic info. Then it is their editing. So whenever you want to edit this, I'm not going to do right now because we have a different session for this, where we will be editing the data, vector data for this. I will just go to the properties tab, because so in this properties tab you can actually see all the information related to this geospatial data. So it is what does the sources, geometry, CRS, that is the coordinate reference system, extent, unit features, and symbology. These all features we will be going through one by one later on, so that how to edit and understand these different things. This doesn't have any metadata. Digitizing. So I will just do one thing for today, as still there is time left. So I just want to see that this state is, all the states are there. I want to see their name over each state. So what will I do to make the state name visible on their shapes? So for that, I will just go to properties. Then I will go to the labels. Okay, and I will just choose the single labels. So for this, in the value section, I will click, and you remember we had name one as the name of states. So if you are not able which one is basically the name, so you just cancel this, just go to the attribute table. You just see this is name one, which is having all the names of different states. Okay, so we will just cross this, we'll go to properties, labels, single labels. You will select name one, and now you can actually change the text size, styles, also color. You want to, suppose I want to have in red. Opacity you can also control. So when you do all these things. You can actually format to all the upper cases these things. So for now, I'll just go with the default and I'll just apply. So when you will apply, you can see all the name of different states are basically visible over the different shapes of the states. So I think that size is very much old, so I will just change it to 5. So it's still very small. Let's give it to 8. Okay, so this is how you actually can do labeling on your data. So this is, I think, and if you, there is one more way to basically open the spatial information. Like I have just drag and drop. You can actually use this browser too. Like if I have my data in G file, user, okay, 1 second. So when you open this thing, you can actually see this information here also. So you can just, for example, I have open administrative level 1 data. So if I just click on level 2, if I just add layer to project, you can see it is added over the level 1 data. So this is the basic data visualization of this QGIS interface. So one by one we will be exploring all the different information. Today just I have shared with you this sample data. In the upcoming lecture or upcoming webinar, I will be basically discussing about more of a visualization in QGIS, and then we will discuss about coordinate reference system, because in GIS software, whatever GIS software's reference system is very important. So how basically your data is referenced to which reference system, because there are multiple reference systems for different countries and different continents also. So which reference system is followed and what is the theoretical background about that reference system, we will discuss about that. And as we have understood the difference between spatial and non-spatial data, so tomorrow we will be discussing about vector and raster data. So what exactly is vector data, how it is different from raster data, how can basically we manage vector data, how can we actually create a vector data over a map or something, what different types of raster data can be opened in QGIS, and how the processing over those raster data will be done. Like for example, in remote sensing problems, we have remote sensing information from the data downloaded from the satellites. So how can we actually use those information in this QGIS to create a different information maps and all those sort of things. So tomorrow we will be working in a more detailed work hands-on demo with all these informations. So I think for today it is enough, and I will ask the organizers to take the charge, and I will also request organizers to collect the questions and keep it in a form of a word file or a notepad, so that we can answer all the questions in last day. Because for this session actually I have kept in last, because might be possible you will having a lot of questions which will be answered tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So it will be easy if you just note down the questions and keep it to yourself, and then later on when the workshop progresses, we will be basically processing more and more information, and we will be able to answer you in a more deliberate way. So thank you for attending today, Dr. Narmada. Over to you. Hello.
Yes, she's coming.
I think I have gone very fast. That's why it got ended very quickly.
Actually, her voice is not coming. Just wait for a minute.
Okay, should I stop sharing?
Yes, you can.
Now am I audible?
Yeah, ma'am, you are audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Harshit,
Yeah.
for the
Am I
first day session.
gone too fast, or it was fine? I was just
It was fine.
asking.
It was fine. It's okay. But we will have to get the feedback from the
Yeah, sure.
participants. So we don't see any queries on the session actually. So we have other queries regarding the certificates and all that. So tomorrow we'll have the continuation of this QGIS.
Yes.
The next set of exercises will be taught to you. And
Yes, yes.
regarding the certificates, we'll be giving you the feedback link on the third day, on the last day of the session. So we'll be sharing the link, and you have to fill in the feedback form. Once you fill in the feedback form, your certificates will reach you by mail. Okay. So only those participants who will be attending the session for 3 days will receive the certificates. Okay. So for now, we'll close the session. Thank you all the participants for your for patiently waiting in the inaugural session. Okay. Thank you, Harshit. See you tomorrow then.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you.